Hey guys, today we doubled down on the movies. We saw Moonrise Kingdom and a movie that recently came out, Behind the Candelabra. Moonrise Kingdom, great movie. Started off with Moonrise Kingdom. Uh, you had two star-crossed lovers. Kind of a Romeo and Juliet scenario because they weren't really supposed to be together, but they didn't really have families that were pulling each other apart. It was really the Boy Scouts keeping the boy away and the family keeping the girl away. But they got together. They had a plan. The boy was really good at keeping things together, and he was a great scout. He knew what he had to do, knew where to forage. He tried his best to hide things, like he had his little canoe that he put a branch over. Thought that was cute. Oh, okay. So, and his girl had the binoculars, looking at everything through the binoculars. Like, she said it was like her superpower or something. That was pretty cute. I like that. Both the kids were pretty crazy. Um, the boy tripled. He was an orphan, um, and recently he had been raised in a family that had a lot of boys. All the other kids looked like greasers in the short clips that they were in. They were in a couple of the clips. They looked like greasers, so it must not have been easy for him. And the girl, she was pretty emotionally disturbed. Her parents even got some pamphlet or some little flippity floppity book. How to deal with your disturbed child, something like that. Uh, so they had a lot of it when they were together. Willing to die for each other. It was ride or die girl. He was a straight thug. They had a little battle with the Boy Scouts. Dude got shanked in there. A dog got killed. Crazy, crazy. All right. Um, Definitely worthwhile watching. Um, Not something I personally buy on DVD. Definitely got to catch that on Netflix on demand. Um, Given that 4.5 out of 5, definitely a good movie. You definitely check that out. Now, uh, Behind the Candelabra needed its own page of information. Okay. Um, Now, initially, I was upset about Behind the Candelabra. Not because of the kind of movie it was, but because this movie took the slot of Game of Thrones. Was it really that hyped? Did they really hype it up that much? Come on. But, I decided this was a movie that replaced the Game of Thrones slot. Maybe it was pretty happening, okay? They're trying to catch that kind of audience. A couple good actors um, in this movie. You had Michael Douglas. We saw him from The Game the other day. Great. He did a pretty impressive job changing his voice, because in The Game he was all grizzled and his voice was he had a hard voice. But in The Candelabra, extremely flamboyant as Liberace. Then you had Matt Damon as the lead boy. I can't even call him anything else in this movie. He was the lead boy. Okay, I saw him in the Bourne series. It was crazy. He was blasting them up, shooting them down, car chases, all of that, spies. And then I see him in Behind the Candelabra. Come on, come on, come on. Um, it, my mom, you know, she was scrolling through the movies when she picked this out. Even she fell asleep during the beginning of this movie. You didn't get to the point until halfway through the thing. I didn't know what the movie was about until, 30, 40 minutes in. Turns out it's about the boy Matt Damon, uh, getting in good with Liberace, okay, and they were a couple, you know, banging around, having sex, gay sex. Liberace was a horn dog, an old horn dog. Um, Liberace starts complaining, and you'll see if you do. Please don't. But if you do, you'll see that Liberace mentions that he doesn't like his assistant. He's creating a monster. Blah blah blah. Matt Damon and Michael Douglas in the bathroom scene. They're bonding, and then later on down the road, because you know how the relationships work. First, it's like, oh, I love you, blah blah blah, this, that, and the other. I'll give you everything. Then things kind of fall apart. You'll rumble tumble, and you start to see the same thing start to happen with the new boy. Oh man, Matt Damon was crushed. Okay, he was on coke. There was some. He was an avid drug addict. After some facial reconstruction surgery, because Liberace wanted him to look just like him, because I guess he didn't have a son. Oh man, but Matt Damon was coked up on dietary pills. He was getting facial reconstructive surgery. It was bad. Okay. Pretty sure he even had a drinking problem. They didn't show that, but I wouldn't put him past him. I wouldn't put it past him in this movie. It was ridiculous. It turned from a boring movie into infinitely depressing, and it just spiraled down in a pool of. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, I don't have anything against um, homosexuals or the affiliates of homosexuals, but I have a thing against terrible movies, and this was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Okay, Matt Damon in this movie, it was just like he was a prostitute. It was a long prostitute movie. Okay, he was getting paid to have sex with Liberace with a splash of love. Okay, just a splash. And Liberace, I'm pretty sure he didn't really love him because he replaced him like that. Matt Damon came home after his grandmama had a funeral, or his mama, his adopted, his foster parents. There we go. After his foster mother died, uh, he comes home. Everybody's looking at him like, looks like he's back. Oh man. And he goes on a rampage because he knows what's going on. Well, he gets told what's going on. He's like, everything's kind of weird. His friend's like, oh, dude, they got it on. And Matt Damon loses it. He's throwing everything off, breaking vases. Then he's pacing back and forth with his friend. Drugs everywhere. Terrible, terrible, terrible movie. They could have replaced Veep with this. Why couldn't they slide it in the Veep slot? Huh? Said HBO had to go and ruin my night, ruin my movie experience by sliding me this poo burger. It was nothing but a poo burger. Thanks. Given that, out of 5, remember, giving that movie a 1. Giving that a 1 out of 5. That was terrible. Thanks.